Anyway, so for some local news, uh, now obviously we've been talking about a lot of business, trying to shift their strategy because of the uh, changing behavior of the customer, sorry to say. But one of the key sectors here are having a difficulty combating the not just the pandemic but the global economy, so to speak. In particular, is our manufacturing sector. Now they're asking for, better regulation to protect the interests of the local manufacturers. Obviously, being global, being able to deal with other nations, other companies, that provide goods and services here is a good thing, right? Becomes a smaller world or worldwide. But the problem here is if there's no tariffs, which what the government did, it enabled other nations, which companies are being subsidized to reduce the cost even lower, which in effect neutralizes the capability of our companies that manufactures products, goods, and services, you know, null and void. So what are they supposed to do? To the point that they're barely surviving. Only the big successful multinationals are able to compete, but for the small who are trying to survive and grow at the same time are having a very difficult time. So where is it? There we go. So we can see here that the safeguard measures that they have removed is definitely have a tremendous effect on the manufacturing sector, right? So because of the anti-dumping laws as mentioned, the price below fair market value, they are able to do that because nations in other countries are subsidizing those companies so they can reduce the cost significantly, and which would in turn make our products, which is locally produced, become more expensive, right? When was that? When we have come to the point that products that are made locally become more expensive, and should we combat that as well by subsidizing our manufacturing sector as well to help improve the situation as well, right? That's why I think it's important that government or regulators in this case should, look for or review their policies, whether it needs to be reviewed, whether they need to impose tariffs on certain industries so that we can protect our local industry, especially for our great country that it is. We're supposed to be abundant in uh, being able to plant rice, plant crops, and so forth, but we're relying on import from other countries. We should be exporting what is abundant in our nation rather than import it from other countries, which is costing us millions and millions of pesos, right? And the campaign, as mentioned based on the article, is buy local, go local. Which is a admirable aim. I think the last item that I bought was last year, which is made local. It was, I think, made from Marikina, a dress shoe that I use for formal occasions. So it's something that I would like to do, but obviously it's a case-to-case basis. But for the bigger industries, let's say for rice, for other crops, right? So if we can protect those farmers that manufactures rice, other products that I think the government can see a benefit. Not just that, we can also take a look at the medical equipment, especially during this pandemic, right? If we can produce those personal protective equipment that generates, we need 60 million units of that, and if we can produce that locally, so we don't have to import it from other countries, we have to be self-reliant so that if another pandemic, hopefully not, but if that were to occur, that we should be reliant and self-reliant, be able to support our own needs. So it's especially in the medical field. So for medical grade coveralls, so we can produce 3.2 million. So that's a big industry that that's something the government needs to take a look at. For ventilators, there's 6 million units. Yeah, 6,000. Sorry, 6,000. 6 million, not 6,000, sorry. And infrared thermometers here. So again, hopefully the government is listening and should take a look at in terms of how to protect our domestic market here. It's not just the manufacturer, I think in other industries as well here.